Oh, good day, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. It is IMSA Racing at Box3 Motorsports. Welcome. My name is Adam Thursby, and I will be your host today. 2 weeks ago, you got to see me race at Daytona, while Phil Milwee kept you entertained here. This week, it's my turn as our drivers just finish up our practice session for today. We will get right into qualifying. Now, after the last race, a little bit of a change in how we plan on running things. Basically, what's going to happen is 30-minute practice. Again, they're just finishing it up. We will be moving to qualification here in just a few moments. When we do it, it will be a 30-minute qualification. GTDs will be out on track first, followed by LMP2s and then GTPs. Each class getting 10 minutes to finish that qualification run. Welcome in, Gian. Good to see you in the chat. It is a cooler day today up north, so got to have the coffee. And there we go. We are rolling into qualification. We will get ready to see our GTD drivers head out here in just a moment. And you guys are going to see some wonk with the UI coming up because I am also playing race control today, so I get to tell these guys to go. GTD class, please get your qualifying run in. And then we make that go away so nobody has to watch it. We'll figure out something better for that in the future. For now, it's just what we have to deal with as Guilherme Costa Rios heads out on track to get some qualifying in today. We are at Sebring, as I said, and we're going to get ready for the entire race here. 30 minutes of qualification for each of our drivers, and then we will head right into that up there, so we have it. We're gonna get right into the race. 60-minute race at Sebring today. Just to remind everyone, we're back on November 11th at Long Beach for a 45-minute sprint race there. We are following that 2023 IMSA season, and there's going to be some overlap because Daytona starts in January, and IMSA in real life racing will be back and ready to go. But I'm sure you guys don't want to look at my ugly mug this whole time, so let's go ahead and jump over to our race cam where we're going to get to see some times start to come in today. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. We had a really good race at Daytona. I thought it went fantastic. I think everybody did, right? We had a really great race. All three classes turning out. Today, as you can see. We've got 11 drivers in the GTP class. We've got 8 in LMP2s and 8 drivers in the GTD class, including, as I said, Mr. Philip Milwee taking over this week in the 949 BMW. He will be joining that GTD class. Phil and I splitting time this season so that we can both get some track time and get broadcast time, and everybody gets to have a little bit of everything. Let's talk a little bit about that GTD class real quick. Again, 2 weeks ago at Daytona, Guilherme Reis ends up winning in the Porsche 911 GT3R 992. Robert Lewis in second in a Ferrari 296, and then Marcus Jutz in the Porsche. Again, that 992, showing up twice on the podium. I know Retro was so happy about that. Noel Jakowitz and Killian Cornerly finish out the top 5 for that first race in GTD. LMP2s, Dylan Bittman, Dimitri Athwal, and Lewis Rickard are your podium sitters for that race, 1, 2, and 3 respectively. Dylan Bittman back out on track. Lewis there too. And do we see, Dimitri Athwal out there in the number 11 LMP2 today. Still sitting in the pits, obviously, waiting for that 10-minute kick. I'm gonna have to keep a hard look because what's going on there? Somebody is struggling. Marcus Jutz jumping all over the track. Let's go somewhere else. I do have to keep an eye on time, guys, because as I said, you're going to see that UI pop up once in a while. I've got to make sure at that 10-minute mark that I get these guys, the LMP2s, out on track. Chris Turner and Will Green. Will Green not joining us in the LMP2s this week, but they are your top 5. Anthony Anderson's out there. They'll give him an opportunity to maybe jump ahead of Will Green. He's currently 6th, finished 6th last week. Maybe he'll get an opportunity to jump ahead in the LMP2 class. Oh. Rello keeps blinking in and out. Yeah, I think that's who we might have been looking at. Oh, no, that was Marcus Jutz. Hopefully that will calm down during the race. Let's get over to GTP and talk a little bit about Daytona 2 weeks ago. Alex Witt, Major Castleman, and Daniel Carvalho are your top 3 at Daytona. Brandon Pfeiffer still on track today, and Peter Holt placed P5. Pizza Man Pete not joining us this week. Couldn't make the race. Again, giving Alex Martin, Gian Cardoso, Retro Coffin all an opportunity this week at Sebring to bump up in the standings. I just want to take time while we're watching, waiting for some times to come in, and they should be happening soon here. I'm going to make sure we're going to be able to see that. Hopefully, it will bring things up. There we go. Times are starting to come in now. I just want to say I think we've had great turnout for this IMSA season. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And this thing will, this little power on the side here will fill in as drivers set their laps. But Costa Rica so far the fastest in GTP. Thiago Alves setting a lap. Robert Lewis jumping in real quick. The number 949 Ferrari. Another 949 car livery out there. Joining Mr. Philip Milwee. This season, I think, is just, we're only in the second race. So obviously, we're going all the way to March. Who knows how the whole season's going to turn out, folks. But in all honesty, I think so far, this is absolutely just fantastic that we have this turnout in this multi-class session. If you, listen, it's not too late for people to get in on this season. If you know someone who wants to jump in on this, let them know. Tell them, come on, join in. It's okay. There's going to be guys in every class who make every race. You're not going to win a championship. Doesn't mean you can't come out and have some fun. The more the merrier. And as I said, November 11th is our next race, which will be at Long Beach. We just run down real quick. Lewis in the chat asking, are we allowed to queue at pit exit? I would not do so yet. Let's check the times. 23 minutes left. So here's the thing to the drivers that are watching, and I'll announce it. We'll go up there and we'll announce it when it happens. With 1 minute left, you can queue at the pit exit. My concern is that somebody in a GTD car might try and launch right now to get one more lap in, right? And so that being the case, I love that I can't see where we're at here. I don't want to block up the pit exit. So let's give it until there's, 1 minute left before the 10-minute mark. I want to quit. Tony Tarnan having a little trouble there. Let's check in on Mr. Milwee. Class 949, number 4 BMW. Had a good time for someone who says, doesn't think he's going to do too well. Currently sitting 5th in class. A couple drivers have not set times yet. Marcus Jutz and Chi Kuba have not set times. You're welcome, Lewis. Let's run down the races, though. As I said, Long Beach coming up on November 11th. All drivers should be aware, too. Don't forget, that is after the time change. So race start time will change to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because we stayed everything the same UTC. With the time change, the hour, it's going to back up an hour, right? All the races going forward after today. Come back December 2nd. Only one race for the entire month of November with Thanksgiving holidays and everything in there. Coming back December 2nd. At the WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca. Watkins Glen happens on December 16th. And December 30th, sneaking over the border into the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park for December 30th at 1:30 p.m. After that, on January 13th, we head to Miami. We'll take Lime Rock off the schedule. We wanted all classes to be able to run, so we took that off the schedule. And we will be heading to Miami in the new year, January 13th. January 27th, Road America. VIR comes up on February 10th. And then February 24th, we're heading to Indy, to the Brickyard. And Road Atlanta will finish out the season on March 9th. Cannot wait. It's going to be an absolute blast. Get these guys pushed out right now. We'll let our LMP2 drivers start lining up. LMP2 drivers can stack at pit exit at this time. Do not launch yet, please. Oh boy, trying to figure out these cameras with this new software is just a ton of fun. I hope everyone here is having a ton of fun, though. I'm sure the drivers are. These races are so much fun. So much fun. Do some checking here. Right. Where we at? Diesel TTV in the chat. Not my best quality effort, but you got a lap in. That's okay. First race of the season, that being Chikuba. Diesel, I'm gonna promote Diesel real quick here once we get this this next group launched. LMP2. Oh, they can't even hear me. LMP2, 30 seconds. Just to promote Diesel a little bit. Diesel, you'll get to see my new livery at Long Beach. Designed and created by Diesel in the chat. Chikuba on track today. Absolutely stunner. I love it. Go check in on some of our LMP2 drivers. They will be heading out now. LMP2 drivers, please. Oh my God, if I don't do this. LMP2 drivers, please release. Head out on track. Qualifying for the next 10 minutes. I keep hitting the wrong window there, folks. Again, you're getting to see the sausage get made a little bit today. As Mr. Anthony Anderson heads out. Our other LMP2 drivers. There's our current leader, Dylan Bittman. Right out the gate, ready to go. As I was saying, though, I will be going back to Diesel for any kind of season we run in iRacing. Looking for those liveries. Just a stunner job. Hit her up on Discord if you are looking for a livery for this, ACC. Just fantastic. And 7, like a total of 8, actually. Sorry, 8 GTD drivers. You see them there on your screen. Not a wide spread, right? Like, I mean, we got some, you know, up at the top, 1, 2, and 3. Robert Lewis, Guillermo Costa, and Ruben Carapato, all stacked real close. And then even if you look at Thiago Alves and Philip Mewley, those we might see number 4 and number 12 come together a little bit once this race kicks off. Liked it, Diesel. I loved it. I love it. Need to race it at Long Beach. Had you do it just in time for me not to race. And Marcus Youtt staying out a little long, but getting a lap in. Like he was on that last lap. Hopefully it didn't cause too much of a traffic issue with the LMP2s heading out. But they all should have been on their out lap. And again, hopefully not causing any problems as we take a look at Jaden Ledbetter in the number 3 car, LMP2. Emerald, how can I help you? How can we help? I don't know how I can help you today. Would love to, though. Let me know how I can help you. Armida Obs. So Emerald and Armida both. First time chatters here today. Thank you guys for joining us. Welcome in, Armida. We wait for our first LMP2 times to come in. Lewis Ricard's going to be one to watch. Speedy in that LMP. And obviously champing at the bit to get out there for a qualifying run. We'll see if Lewis can set a good lap today. By the way, folks, exclamation pit wall in the chat. If I can type. That will get you to live timing for today's race. Pitwall now works with iRacing. So if you want to watch live timing of today's race, please jump over there and take a look. I'll be using it myself during the course of the race today. You'll see, bring a much longer track than you think, right? It's, I mean, 2-minute laps in the GTD cars. And I don't really know the spreads. I don't know what times we should be looking for. This is not a GT3 track, it's an SRO track. Therefore, I don't have as much knowledge. But you see the speed difference here as Dylan Bittman and Lewis Ricard both setting times. And Dylan Bittman spinning after that, heading back to the pits. But take a look at Lewis Ricard. Or Lewis Rickard. Sorry, Ricard. No, Ricard. I said it right. See, I was saying, now you made me question myself, Lewis. Lewis Ricard out on track. Just about a second off of Dylan Bittman's time. But you see the speed difference in these classes. It was last time at Daytona, first experience for me in a multi-class race for myself. So just to describe that, it was awesome. It was amazing. And you know, I finished almost dead last and I got punted at one point. But my point being is this, that was okay. It was a great experience, that multi-class racing, that you have so much speed on the other classes. There's not a single lap goes by that you don't end up in traffic somewhere, right? Except maybe lap 1, because, you know, I drive GTP for this series and you're out in front, right? So it may be lap 1 and 2 that you're not really in traffic, but at that point, that goes away. And once the race is on proper, you are finding slower class. You know, if you're in that faster class or if you're in that slower class, you are having to deal with some sort of traffic during the entirety of the race. So again, even the slower drivers having to decide when they want that faster car to come around. And again, you see that speed differential. It's huge. 14 seconds per lap. That's absolutely huge. There you go. I can filter by class. Perfect. Perfect. More times coming in. Anthony Anderson, a little off the mark today. Anderson, one of the faster drivers at Box 3. Guess that livery's not helping him go any faster today, is it? Sitting now in P4. Christopher Turner jumps up in there. And just about 3 minutes left in LMP2 qualifying. Dimitri Athwal and Steven Culverza yet to set laps today. Culverza still sitting in the pits. Athwal out on track. Rob Keesar getting his lap in. There, Dimitri Athwal comes across the line, able to get himself into P5. A little over 3 minutes left in LMP2 qualifying. Taking a bounce right there. Athwal, I do not think that's going to help your chances. Getting it off the ground does not help you go faster. Jaden, or if it does, it's in a bad way. Jaden Ledbetter, currently P6 in the number 3 car. I love Rob Keesar decides to drive LMP2 and still take number 992 to honor his Porsche heritage. Chris Turner back in the pits. Anderson staying out on track. There we go. The 147s down to 153s for Rob Keesar. See if we can help people see things a little bit. Get that track temperature. As you see there, a track temperature of 30 degrees Celsius today. Our air temp at 26.7 here at Sebring. Looks like his first time broadcasting iRacing. Checking on Rob Keesar again. Steven Culverza. Now out on track. Only about 1 minute to go. Has not yet set a lap for the LMP2. Set a lap time for LMP2. So he will be more than likely joining from the back unless he can throw one down hard. We're gonna go let our GTP drivers know. GTP class drivers can stack at pit exit. Please do not enter the track yet. Again, guys, started to bring that overlay up in iRacing, that UI. We'll get rid of that here in just a moment. GTP 30 seconds. Wee pee. Welcome in, Huff. Hope it's going well today, sir. I'm gonna wait and see if the 618 car is going to be able to get a verified lap in. Now, you know, the 911 of Marcus Jutz in GTD class stayed out a little long, right? GTP drivers, you may now qualify. GTP drivers, please enter the track. He did stay out a little long, right? But it's okay as long as he's not causing a traffic problem. He was in within about a minute and a half. It's never going to be exact. The goal is to get out of everybody's way. As you see, there are GTP drivers heading out now. Alex Witt taking his time a little bit to come off. There's that 618 car of Steven Corza right there as he pulls off, not setting a good lap, so he will head back to the pits now. Major Castleman back on circuit today. So be curious now. We see what the LMP2 drivers' times look like compared to the GTDs. It'll be very interesting to see now how much faster are these GTP cars than even the LMP2s. As you guys will be able to see too, I mean, a lot of Cadillacs. Aiden Ledbetter finishing up a lap and able to get ahead of Anthony Anderson. Going to sit P4 in the LMP2 class. Alex Martin back with us this week. Again, an opportunity here with Pete not on track. Pizza Man Pete. Possibly a chance to step up. Take a look. The number 14 car of Danielle Santos Cavajalo. Dolan chat saying 2 to 3 seconds faster than the LMP2s. Check it out. No, the hypercar classes are very, much closer together than the GTDs, of course. So just 7 minutes and 40 seconds left in qualifying today. The weather just gorgeous. Just gorgeous here, Sebring. Really making sure we keep it clean and sunny this time. No night racing. We did night racing in Daytona. Now we'll go a little get a little sunshine in our lives this week. Long Beach again will more than likely be a day race, but we will mix in some night race. Olin, who are you in game? DT Bubs in the chat, my man. Welcome in, sir. It's been a minute. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, Dolan, who are you in game? Just so we can. Oh, Bettman. Okay. Dylan in chat. Sitting there and sitting back in the pits waiting for the start of this race. But number 1 in LMP2. Cannot complain about that. With that, folks, with that 6.5 minutes, just under 6.5 minutes left to go, I'm going to leave you guys here to watch the times come in, and I'm going to step away for just a moment so we get ready for the start of this race at Sebring. Round 2 of Box3 Motorsports IMSA season. Stick around. Stay right here. Talk amongst yourselves. Don't forget exclamation pit wall in the chat. Get you live timing for today's race. We'll be using that during the course of the race to talk about some of these drivers. A 1-hour race at Sebring. This is going to be fantastic. I can't wait to get this kicked off. Welcome in, Senior Gamer. Hello, Tony GT3 here. Tony Tornin. Tony Tornin, I hope I'm saying your name right. I hope I'm saying... No, Toronin, maybe? Toronin? I hope I'm getting it right. You let me know if I'm not. There you go. GTP time's coming in now. And I am going to step away for just a moment. Be right back with you guys in just a second. Dolan, look for interview after... You know what? Dylan, I'm down with it. We can talk we can jive for a minute. Usually I'm ready to jump up out here, but you know what? I'll jump into Discord at the end of the race. We can absolutely do that. I would love to be able to talk to some of you guys. I love talking to the drivers about the race, their experience, especially this multi-class stuff. You know, I'm used to GT3. And it's all... We had classes, but it's all the same cars, right? They're all the same class of cars. Just different classes of drivers. This is completely different class of cars, and just an absolute blast to watch. And Andre Rosa in the number 9 car leading out this GTP class so far. I'm sure we'll see that change before the end. Be right back, guys. Give me 1 second. And no, Diesel, it is not only podium interviews. We'll talk to anybody. I like talking to all you guys. All of you. You guys are fantastic. Stick with us, folks. Be right back. All right, folks. Been watching Andrea Rosa for long enough. Ethan Hamlet qualifying in second so far. Petro Coffin in that Porsche getting pushed a little back. Getting pushed back down the standings a little bit. Currently in 8th. We're qualifying just a minute and a half left to go. Huff, are you still there? Are you still in the chat or still watching the stream, sir? Alex Martin having a good turnout, currently in 5th. Retro have a really great run at Daytona, was running very close to the front. Got into an incident with Pizza Man Peter Holt right at the end of the race. Lewis, at 10 minutes, they were called out. 10 minutes left, they were called out. Brandon Pfeiffer struggling in the GTPs a little bit. And qualifying 10th so far. Fife usually right at the top of our top of the list when it comes to qualifying in GT3s over in E-League. He today, a little bit of trouble at Sebring. Oh, thank you for that, Zap. Appreciate you, man. Oh, goodness. Sorry, folks, that you were able to see me alt-tabbing around the screen. Qualifying comes to an end. Brandon Pfeiffer. Wow, Fife getting pushed to P11th. Last in class for GTPs today. Alfonso Quiros getting up front in P2. Already heading there. Fife jumps himself back up ahead of at Retro Coffin and Alex Witt. Everyone now heads back to the pits. Curious to see Alex Witt. I mean, did set a qualifying time of 1:45.6, right? So Alex Witt, our winner last 2 weeks ago in Daytona, now all of a sudden sitting back qualifying 11th today at Sebring. Wow. Like, that's a little different, isn't it? That's just a tad different. We'll see where he ends up today. Maybe Sebring not his best track, right? His best circuit. We'll see if see how he does bring him. That Brannigan said, because I am guys were able to see my alt tabbing today. So good luck to all the drivers today as we wait for the start of this race here in just a few moments. Sessional flip. We will be ready for 1 hour of racing here at Sebring. Much fun. So to Dolan in the chat, Diesel in the chat, to all the drivers, or anyone, and we will announce this for the next race. I'm just doing it kind of on the fly here very quickly. In the general section of the Discord, end of the race, there is now a voice channel called Waiting for Interview. Anybody who would like to speak on stream after the race, please put yourself in that voice channel. I will bring you to another voice channel one at a time so that we're able to have a conversation one-on-one, so we're not just having a big group chat. See if we can't, the cameras in iRacing are cannot. No, I think we're on grid. Yeah, with a 1.5-minute countdown to the start of this race. I cannot get a focus on any. 1 hour remaining of this race today. Yeah, Dolan. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to do my best. I'll have to make sure I'm picking everybody up. So there we go. Pace car is out. GTP drivers are lined up. Now, with these multi-class races, it's very difficult. The classes are spread out on the track. GTPs up front, followed by LMP2s, of course, and then GTDs. They drive in a group. The classes are grouped together. They are not stacked on top of each other. But the GTPs will get the green flag first. Pace car goes in front of them. When they drop, that green goes green for everybody, for all classes, right? The concern there is that the LMP2s are going to very quickly catch up to any carnage in T1. Now, we always hope for no carnage, of course, but there's always a chance of carnage. The hope is, as we get ready to start this race in just about 30 seconds, or start our lap here in just about 30 seconds. So the LMP2 leaders are going to hold off a little bit. Same with GTD. They're going to hold a little bit at that green flag, stay in line, and then go. I think it's very hard to coordinate because all it takes is one person jumping and everyone's going to feel like they need to keep their position that they at least try and keep their position that they qualified in versus losing 3 spots because people jumped at the beginning. So we'll see what happens there as we have a few blinky drivers on track. Chief Blaze, sir, welcome in. Get ready for 1 hour of driving Sebring. Not a track I have practiced myself because I knew I wasn't participating. Some of the drivers complaining, saying they don't like it. Others saying, yeah, let's go. There you see our GTP drivers now on the move. Getting ready for the start of this race. Andre Rosa, number 9 car leading out. $11 GTP drivers joining us this week. 8 in the LMP2 class and 8 in the GTD class. LMP2 drivers lined up, ready to go. I really do wish they would each get their own pace car. That would make this a lot easier. Because then that pace car would hold them back and they would each get each class would get individual greens. Track temp now up to 31.7, going up throughout the course of this practice session into qualifying, and now another degree and a half up from the start of qualifying. Guilherme Costa Reyes leads us out in GTD. Struggling a little bit. Just a tad, right? In that number 21 Porsche. Robert Lewis right there. Be curious to see the turnout for Long Beach. I mean, there were drivers that announced they had to withdraw today for various reasons, which is, I mean, nothing wrong with that, folks. We want folks to go live their real lives. But it'll be interesting to see what comes back from Long Beach. Sebring is one of those tracks, like many other racetracks, that are open on the sides. You see that there's some runoff. You're not walled in like you are at a Bathurst, right, going up the mountain or something. You have some breathing. If you do get tapped, if you make a mistake, you're not instantly into a wall. That is not the case with Long Beach. That is a circuit, not really a track, it's a circuit just surrounded by walls on every side. There is no escape. Maybe 1 or 2 runoffs in 1 or 2 corners, and that is the end of it. So if we get more drivers, and you see pretty much the full count right there, if we get more drivers for Long Beach, that will get very, very interesting. Pace car now be heading in. We are green for the next hour at Sebring. As we head, this GTP drivers head down into turn 1. Andrea Rosa leading it out. Alfonso Claros able to get ahead. Ethan Hamlet jumping up. Major Castman jumping ahead here in the pack. Alex Martin falling back hard as he is spun and in the grass. Here comes LMP2. Dylan Bittman leading them out with Lewis card right there. Dylan winning the first race at Daytona and Lewis not far off, and we'll see if he can keep this up for an hour and stick right to the bumper of Dylan Bittman in the number 193. And GTDs are on the way. Guillermo Costa Rios opening up wide over Robert Lewis here at the beginning. 1.4 seconds. That gap already, but Lewis having to play defense against Ruben Caraparo. And a full stack of cars behind him. GTD is where the action is right now. As Lewis Ricard jumps up. Oh, we lost drivers. That's backing down. Okay. Looks like to jump quickly. Alex Martin able to get around Gian Cardoso. Take up P10 in GTE. Robert Lewis, the number 949 car, still with a stack of drivers behind him. Including, just to check in with him, our own Philip Milwee. Right now putting pressure on Tony in the number 666, Torinen. And we said Alex Witt won that first race in GTP class. Now all of a sudden we see he started right at the back, now all the way up to P8, having gotten around Pfeiffer, Martin, and Cardoso. We'll see if he keeps making moves today. Watch these guys run each other down. Throw that up there. Positions gained will give you a little bit of an idea of where we sit with everything. Right there you see Alex Martin really suffering today, as well as Gian Cardoso, but Alex Witt up 3 spots. Retro Coffin up 3 spots so far. LMP2 and GTD staying right where they qualified so far. No real action back in those classes. A lot of tight racing, but not a ton of passing, or no passing. Take a look at Chris Turner, LMP2, Jaden Ledbetter, Anthony Anderson, both right there. Major Castleman looking for the move on Daniel Santos in the number 14 car. Makes it stick. Go back to LMP2. Jaden Ledbetter, the number 3, under pressure from Anthony Anderson in the number 16 car. But get rid of that, shorten that thing up. Also a play for P2 in the the GTD class. Alphonse Quiros finds himself with the number 46 car of Ethan Hamlet right on his tail. Andre Rosa has just opened it up in the front, though. Right now, a 3.5 second gap back to Alphonse Quiros. Alphonse having to play that defense, though, is not looking to let Ethan Hamlet take up P2 right now. Jump out real quick. It's Retro Coffin and Corey Allen now. Going a little bit of back and forth. Maintaining P6. Let's go back and look, though. I'm just testing out software, guys. I want to see this replay of Lewis Ricard. And a slide right there from Lewis, throwing it a little too hard into the corner. We catch up live now with Marcus Jutz, with Thiago Alves, Phil Milwee right there. Anthony Anderson picking up P4. Mitri Athwal with a problem, dropping back 2 spots in LMP2, just like that. All the action so far up in the GTP class. Take a look at something here real quick. Watch this battle start to play out. So some action now in LMP2s with some folks changing positions. Alex Martin still struggling. Ian Cardoso down a full lap, had to go into the pits already. Alphonse Quieros is going to find himself in some trouble. Ethan Hamlet still applying pressure, but now Major Castleman and Daniel Santos, the number 14 car, catching up. Slowly closing that gap. Meanwhile, Andre Rosa just opening that gap up from P1. I want to take a look here. We wait for some times to start populating. Only 3 laps into this race, so it's hard to get the data yet. And there it is. Major Castleman now looking for the number 14. Not quite able to hold on to it there. Carvalho going off track, trying to defend this spot from Castleman. Bit of a mistake, but we'll see if he can get it in from laps 1. Average lap time. So, just to give you an idea here in this GTP class, Andre Rosa running up front right now. Clean air. Hasn't really started to tap a lot of traffic yet, right? But just to talk about it, running a 144.8 across the first 4 laps. Alphonse Quieros in P2, a 145.6, almost a 1 second difference. The 0.8 second difference between P1 and P2. I mean, that gap is just going to keep opening. I don't know that it matters how much traffic Rosa finds. I think that gap is just going to continue to get wider and wider during the course of this race. Rosa's going to have to get extremely unlucky for this not to work out in his favor during the entirety of the hour. You see there, the GTPs now starting to catch up to some of the GTD traffic. The number 6 car of Ikuba. Diesel in the chat. Alex Witt, our winner from Daytona, able to hold Brandon Pfeiffer off. Not, again, you don't really see Fife able to close that up. Hasn't had an opportunity yet. But Fife also having to play defense to Mr. Alex Martin, the number 94 car. Anthony Anderson able to get a nudge on Jaden Ledbetter. Let's watch this battle play out for a little bit here. You hear Alphonse Quieros open to maybe lose Ethan Hamlet in traffic, and this hasn't worked out yet. This is what I was talking about prior to the race during qualification. This kind of racing for me is so much fun. I had a blast at Daytona. I know I'm hoping I'm gonna have a blast at Long Beach. Scary track that, with this many classes and as tight as it is, my time, which is slow compared to these drivers, I will be running at the back of GTP, but in the GTP cars, you're talking about minute 16s, minute 14s, somewhere in that range. So a very short track, a very tight track, very technical track at Long Beach. But it is so much fun. And again, this strategy comes into play of You know, Quiros is opening this up a little bit now. But if, you know, if Hamlet can stay close, the strategy starts to play is, can Quiros clear the traffic? Can he clear that GTD car and then find Hamlet get trapped? And you see now it's opening up a little bit. Up to 8/10 at this point between them. We have to jump back and take a look at Hamlet because now number 14 of Santos Carvalho catching up and closing that gap. Jaden Ledbetter getting the best and the inside line on Anthony Anderson to take up P4. Meanwhile, Alex Witt unable to shake Brendan Pfeiffer, the number 22 GTP car. Two Cadillacs. You see exactly, even on a track as long as Sebring is, you see how these guys have already hit traffic, right? They're already having to deal with that and work their way through it. Take a quick run back and take a look at the number 16. I'm sorry, the 618 of Steven Boverza. Says here a crash here just a moment ago. Crash, usually that's what it means. Spin right into the center of the track. Wow. Had to sit still for that one. Get himself turned back around. Nice gap there for a re-entry. Doesn't drag the cone with him, so we're all good there. Catch up with Alex Witt, Brendan Pfeiffer. So LMP2 and GTD class has those two classes have squared themselves away, and now no positions gained or lost on the day for any of those drivers. We're just about 15 minutes into this race. Now I have to wonder who in the Porsche is just flashing their lights at the much faster drivers in the GTP cars. The number 21. Guillermo Costa Rios. Robert Lewis looks to be maybe closing that gap in GTD. Take a look if that's opening or closing here real quick. Yeah, Robert Lewis definitely closing that gap. I mean, it was way open about 2 seconds just a few laps ago. Now down to about 7/10, 5/10. Sorry, half a second at this point. So Lewis really pushing that 949 car to try and get up on Guilherme, the number 21. So far, the big winners of the day in the GTP class are Retro Coffin and Alex Witt, both up 3 spots in the first 15 minutes of this race. Every class setup, they will need to take a pit stop during the course of this, usually around that 30-minute mark, about halfway through, but we'll no doubt we're going to see a few guys go for the undercut. Maybe an overcut, stay out as long as they can on those tires, flash as little fuel as possible. Robert Lewis now backing down just a little. That gap was closing really steadily. If you take a look at pit wall, again, exclamation pit wall in the chat. Get you all the live timing for the race. Was closing very quickly for a few laps and now has slowed down a little bit. Lewis maybe waiting for an opportunity. Or has decided he needs to back it down just a tad. Track temperature continuing to rise up to a balmy 32 degrees. But nope, that's not helping. There we go. That's better. 32.8 on track. We all know it's C. Robert Lewis now very close and about to become back markers, or have become back markers. The 193 of Dylan Bittman. And that's where you see, great pass. Dylan Bittman, very clean driver. Jump up and take a look. Christopher Turner now under pressure from Jaden Ledbetter as he closes that gap to about half a second. Great pass by Dylan Bittman in traffic, getting around the battle of Guillermo Costa Reyes and Robert Lewis. Not easy to do all the time, right? Those two drivers in the GTD class have every right to battle, have every right to go at each other. Lewis not quite close enough for a battle, but I think my point still stands that faster driver, Dylan Bittman, and we're talking about, 13 to 15 second gaps between LMP2s and GTDs. Dylan having to be patient. Now, granted, he's got a 7-second lead over Lewis Rickard in P2, but he doesn't want to lose any of that, right? He wants to maintain that. So, he's going to work hard to get it through that traffic as quickly as possible. And not always something that's easy to do, to be sure. Checking on our buddy Retro Coffin. Doing a possible spin here. Yep, throwing it around again. Retro luckily doesn't look like losing any time or any spaces, but has lost a ton of time. And now will be caught by, or has been caught up to by Alex Witt. Brandon Pfeiffer making a run on Witt again. And Alex Martin now right behind them. Maybe has an opportunity to join in on this little party. Oh, and you guys can see things pop up on my screen. That'll be fixed for the next broadcast from this desk. Wife looking to throw it up the inside. Not quite there, though. The Alex Witt with the pressure at this point. Back into that GT are just a little wobbly. Over the GTD class, Robert Lewis, Young Costa Reyes still continue to battle for P1 of GTD. And Lewis got plenty of time here. Still 39 and a half minutes left to go in today's race. They clear a path. A nudge in on the number 3 car. Wow. Jaden Ledbetter, Christopher Turner having their own battle. And right there, Robert Lewis getting ahead. I wish I could just rewind and watch that again. Unfortunately, it's not possible. But wow, Robert Lewis takes up P1 in the GTD class. And that's the type of thing that traffic can cause, right? I mean, you just saw it. That traffic They got a little squirrely around each other. Guillermo Costares struggling a little bit, allows Robert Lewis to jump up, but it's not over as the number 16 of Anthony Anderson gets clear. Reyes looking to come and take P1 back. He wants it. He doesn't want to give it up to Robert Lewis in the 949. And going to shoot down the inside. Does he have it? Yes, he does. Oh, and so close. Great race and nice pass on the inside from the number 21 Porsche. Robert Lewis holding on to P1 for only a short time. Right now, we need to check in on Retro Coffin because Alex Witt, Brandon Pfeiffer, and Alex Martin. Double dose of Alex coming up on the back end of the number 937 of Retro Coffin. Out in the Porsche today. Corey Allen, the other Porsche driver, on track. And once again, GTD is back to no arrows. Nothing lost, nothing gained in that class. Before these cars clear Ikuba. Somebody way off into the Toolies. Alex Martin, I believe. Back that up real quick and take a look. Yeah, Alex Martin avoiding contact with the back end of a fellow driver and outbraked himself just a tad, puts that number 94 under the runoff. And he's now about 5.5 seconds back from that pack that he was chasing. No doubt putting a little bit of scrub on those tires. And we watched this battle in GTD earlier and we'll check in on it from time to time, but Robert Lewis now, once again, after having given the position back to the number 21 car, going to continue to apply that pressure. ETP, we've got a battle for P3. Ethan Hamlet, the number 46 car, holding off Daniel Santos Carvalho, the number 14. And a bump up ahead is that dinging into each other. Oh, see, multi-class racing. It's going to get you, or it can. As these guys straddle the Porsche, that going to give the advantage to Carvalho. Looks like it is, if he can hold it, but not quite. Hamlet taking the inside line. Marcus Jutz, Ruben Carapato may be having problems there. 2 spots dropped now into the pits. That would be why. Look at that. So maybe looking for the undercut there. Carapato in early. Wants to get it over with. 35.5 minutes left to go. There is no pit window during the course of these races, so... Oh, wow, and GTDs are playing because Robert Lewis is back with a vengeance. The back end of Guillermo Costares. Had it down to a 10th. And so far, we talk about Daytona. We talk about, this is week 2 or race 2 of the IMSA season. Total of 11 races coming in over the next few months. We'll discuss those again before the end of today. But I just have to say, between Daytona and now what we've seen so far, look back to our previous ACC seasons here at Box 3, GT3 Racing. Had some bad ones, right? We had some bad seasons. Certain classes of drivers who just could not help but scrap every race. Incidents caused a lot of incidents, some pile-ups, things of that nature. And I got to say, you know, knock on wood, right? We'll give a little knock to the wood gods. But so far, this multi-class IMSA racing has been super clean, super hard. The drivers have pushed each other. Don't misunderstand. I don't think that you know, we're in a position where these guys aren't racing. They are absolutely racing each other. They're pushing as hard as they can. But that said, I think the racing has been hard, but extremely fair. Very few incidents, as you can see the bounce that comes with driving at Sebring. Very few incidents across either race so far. And obviously we'll see what happens as the season goes on. But again, so far, so good. Knock on wood. And I am absolutely here for it. Ethan Hamlet now holding on about a half-second gap. Let's check in with Alex Witt in the number 594 car. Brandon Pfeiffer continuing to stick to his tailpipe. Robert Lewis coming back out on track. Going to lose position to Marcus Yutz as he comes out of the pits. But not a bad stop. I mean, really, not at the... how much time he's going to have to make up. Lewis now losing time to Thiago Alves as well. Is he struggling? Oh, he's back in the pits. But I thought he was coming out. He maybe was just going in. Philip Milby takes up position. We get back to Alex Witt, Brandon Pfeiffer. Folks, don't forget, if you're not an iRacing driver, maybe you're watching this and you like to race on Xbox and race ACC. Look at him go. Oh my goodness. Fife is just hammering down on the back end of the 594 of Alex Witt. See the back end of that car cut loose just a little bit. I was waiting to see if Alex was going to spin it. Pfeiffer not giving up one bit when it comes to this. But as I was saying, maybe you're an Xbox driver. You're an ACC driver on Xbox. Well, exclamation box in the chat will get you over to our Discord where we currently have ACC Season 8 running, GT3 running for our Xbox League. Zolder and Laguna Seca already in the books, but Brands Hatch is up next week on November 4th. If you enjoy console racing, please get on over there. Join up with Box3 Motorsports. Get your GT3 on Xbox. As I said earlier, IMSA Racing returns November 11th at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Long Beach. Our race now just about halfway over. 30 seconds to the halfway point. Alphonse Quiros, number 555, currently running in second again ahead of Ethan Hamlet. Hamlet has been steadily applying pressure this whole race. Wait to see now how these pit stops are going to wash out. Andre Rosa continues to lead GTP, now a gap of 11 seconds. Like Lewis Rickard in the LMP2 class into the pits now. Car's jacked up getting that service. Christopher Turner and Jaden Ledbetter coming together in LMP2. See now the pit stops starting to play position changes in LMP2 and GTD. Great racing today. Andre Rosa leading again, as I said just a few moments ago. GTP class. We'll wait and see when the pit stops really start to crank. Oh, and Brandon Pfeiffer getting up. Oh, in the pits. Okay, Brandon Pfeiffer in the pits. I believe Retro Coffin in the pits with him. So I'm sorry, GTD cars now starting to hit those pit stops. Andre Rosa opting to stay out for now. With that happening, I'm going to step away for a few moments, folks, as we let our drivers roll through the pits. Start getting fuel and tires. Fife now moving back out on track. We know he's done with his pit stop. I will leave you guys in the capable hands of Brandon Pfeiffer while I take about a 2-minute break. Just got to go take care of something. When I return, we will look to finish this race out. 28 minutes left to go at Sebring. I want to thank everybody in the chat for joining me today. I'm back November 11th with Mr. Phil Milwee as I drive at Long Beach, and all of our drivers drive at Long Beach. Can't wait. Phil Milwee will be your host for that race. Stick around, folks. Conclusion of this is coming right up. The jockeying continues with drivers out on track. Lewis Ricard, Anthony Anderson now into the pits. Lewis Ricard able to move back up in. We wait for these pit stops to continue. Andre Rosa still leading by about 10 seconds over Alfonso Quiros. Not that these drivers have headed in yet. Obviously, I would have missed them, but everybody jockeying. Marcus Yutz now leads GTD for now. Brandon Pfeiffer, Corey Allen battling out. And Alex Witt right there with him. Great racing at Sebring today. A lot of tight battles throughout this entire race so far. 24.5 minutes left to go. Alex Witt can't complain. Having a good race today. Up 4 spots. You guys look to clear traffic. Continue to battle. Corey Allen now right there, looking on the inside. Oh, and contact between the two of them. And a spin allowing Brandon Pfeiffer to jump up and take off. Alex Witt, Corey Allen coming together. Let's back that up and see the lead into it. Side by side. And a push right there from the target car, number 594 of Alex Witt. Looked like he came out just a little bit into Corey Allen. Allen dropping back all the way to P10 after that. As Retro Coffin now comes under pressure from Major Castleman. You know, every kind of racing we've talked about, we've covered here at Box 3, whether it's, well, let's leave out open wheel, the FF 1600 series we did, right? There's door banging. There's whether it's GT3 racing in ACC, there's door banging, or whether it might be, or here at IMSA, right? There's some door banging that goes on. Gets a little different with a GTP class car, no traction control or limited traction control, no ABS, so that once you lock, and you are going for a ride. And unfortunately, a little bit of contact can have a much bigger impact in these cars, I think, than over the say the GTDs that have a little bit more handling control built into them. Corey Allen now into the pits. Alex Witt staying out, getting his spot back up. Things jumbling around a little bit. Corey Allen must have had a decent bit of damage unless he had not been into the pits yet. Unfortunately, can't see pit stops. But here they go, Coffin and Major Castleman. It is a horse race down the start-finish straight as they come across one more time. Castleman with the inside. Coffin holding on. Coffin have a great race, up 5 spots today. Major Castleman sitting even on the day. Retro Coffin starting this race in P10. And now suddenly finds himself P5. Fighting to hold on to it, but cannot be disappointed with the results so far. Christopher Turner, Jaden Ledbetter in the LMP2 class battling as well. Let's take a look back there real quick. Like Ruben Carapato had some sort of issue at some point. Dropped 5 positions today. Coffin's been able to get himself extended a little bit over Castleman. I say that just as they go back to it. It was about a 4/10 different, but Castleman with the inside line. Through the corner, getting ahead now of Retro Coffin. Now, we might want to ask ourselves. Get to the... Castleman now pulling away very quickly, already opening that gap up to about 8/10. That was very fast. What I'd like to do is take a look at and 13. These two drivers, I mean, Castleman, you know, throughout the first stint, so we'll call it the first stint, you know, before the pit stop, and there it looks like Retro Coffin. Oh, Castleman into the pits now, picks up the spot and then heads into the pits. Very confusing because I can't see. It doesn't give me an indicator when someone is in the pits. It makes it different. But if I just take a look at the data, if we talk about that first stint before Retro headed into the pits, Castleman was extending a gap over him. Retro gets ahead, and then that gap very quickly dropped back down as Castleman brought it up. Captain Miner in the chat. Who are you on track, sir? Or ma'am? The Retro Coffin you cannot be disappointed with today. Alex Witt having a great race, up 4 spots. Oh, Castleman. Oh, gotcha. Okay. I thought you were Major Castleman. You come in here and you're Captain Miner. I can't keep up with all your ranks. You're done for the day? Really great battle with Retro Coffin. Sorry to see you drop out. Checking on Turner and Ledbetter. These two have been sticking pretty close together in the LMP2 category for a while now. Turner holding on, but just barely. Jaden Ledbetter sticking right with him. Little traffic to clear, see if these guys can stick together. Ledbetter losing a little bit of time there, and this is again where that traffic comes into play. Not able to clear quite as quickly as Turner. Opens that gap up to 1.3 seconds. Turner now feeling a little bit of that pressure release. No longer has to worry about it. Ethan Hamlet, even on the day, P4. But the fast one this week, Andre Rosa, GTP class, the number 9 car. Very quick. Now with a 22-second gap back to Alphonse Quiros, the number 555. Oh, and a slide there. Wow. Andre Rosa, our race leader. Let's back it up real quick. Getting tied up with Phil Milwee. I think Phil may have pushed out a little bit. Hard to tell there from that angle. But Alfonso Quiros now going to take over the lead of this race. Andre Rosa going to drop way back. Bad contact there. Wow. But with that tow, we're going to see the majority of drivers, at least back to Alex Martin, pull ahead of Andre Rosa, putting him back in probably P8 or 9. Very hard from that angle to tell what happened. Unfortunately, only about 10 seconds of replay time. Let's do this. See what we can do. Go right to the cockpit. We're going to send that, and then... Whoops, that's not the one I wanted. That is not the one I wanted. Go back to live. We want to see this one. Are on board with Andre Rosa before the crash. Around the outside, it looks like possibly Phil just lost just some understeer that just did not allow him to keep turned in. Hard to tell, again, even from in the cockpit. We'd have to do a pullback, but just a shame. Let's get back live though with Christopher Turner, Jaden Ledbetter, as they continue to battle out in LMP2. This is our closest runners right now. Take a check in on Phil Milwee. We were told, just heard a driver comment that the back of his car is missing. Yeah, doesn't look healthy. Definitely wide open trunk there. Or something stick. Is that... Yeah, definitely lost the trunk of the car. I think Alex Martin now catching up to Alex Witt, slowly closing that gap. Alex versus Alex, the 5.94 and the 9.4. It's over 10 minutes left to go today. Thank you guys so much for joining me here at Sebring. Keep an eye on it as well on that LMT2 battle between Christopher Turner and Jaden Ledbetter. As we watch this and we think, we think back to that incident between Phil Milwee and Andre Rosa, I would encourage any and all drivers. You can report yourself. You can report another, a driver that you had an incident with, report the other driver. You can report incidents you saw that you were not involved in. We want clean racing here at Box 3 Motorsports. And so the only way to get that, the best way to get that, is for drivers to police each other and ourselves, right? I'm sure, and again, we don't have the right angle. Hopefully, Andre or Phil reports that incident as it happened, and lets people know. But, we want drivers to take responsibility. And I think I know that'll happen in that particular case if there's certain responsibilities. But the point being is make sure you report, because we can't have clean driving if there's no reports. Please report your incidents via the bot on Obviously an incident today, but overall great race. And as Alex Martin continues to try and close the gap to Alex Witt and Brandon Pfeiffer now closing the gap on Retro Coffin, as they will have traffic to deal with. Both drivers getting clear of Phil Milwee, the number 4 BMW. Now, Retro looking to clear number 3 LMP2 of Jaden Ledbetter. That, you know, this traffic has really mixed it up, because now he's about 1.5 seconds back from Christopher Turner, just trying to let these guys get clear. He's kind of lost his own battle in trying to let the faster drivers through. Drivers all talking to Phil about his missing body work. I think Phil unable to hear them. I'm willing to bet. Coffin looking to hold up to that, hold on to P4 with that 6-spot gain. Not let Fife take one of those for him and even the two of them out. Daniel Santos Carvalho closing on in on Alphonse Quieros for P1 too. We'll have to keep an eye there. Still plenty of time for him to close that up, see if he can't take over that podium positions for today. Something else for everyone to remember, Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Join us right here on Twitch at Box3 Motorsports for Recovery Drive. We'll be discussing the Sebring race, talk a little bit about Xbox, the Xbox season as it's running right now, and focusing right here on the Sebring race for our IMSA season. Coffin taking a real chance there, dipping into the sand. Just trying to use as much track as possible, keep his speed up. Fife applying pressure. Checking our leader, Alfonso Quieros, Daniel Santos Carvalho right there. The gap continues to shrink a little bit. Was down to about half a second. Now here's where it'll get curious. Obviously, you know, Andre Rosa, great pace today up until the incident. Now has caught up to the back end of Brandon Pfeiffer and Retro Coffin. These two have been battling for a few laps now. So now what is Rosa going to do to try and clear both of these drivers before the end of this race? Go on board with Rosa for a few moments here, a few corners, if you will. Rosa opening the gap in this race the entire time while in P1. Really opening the gap throughout the entirety of that run. So now, gonna have a lot of pace on these two. There, shoots it up the inside on Brandon Pfeiffer. That's his sights on Retro Coffin in the number 937. Rosa looking for that inside track. Could not find it there. We'll talk about it once more. These guys about to hit traffic. Might just be one Porsche. Does not make it easy. That number 911 of Marcus Jutz, currently running in third in class. A safe clear there. Often working to make that Porsche as wide as possible to keep the Cadillac of Andre Rosa right behind him. What a great battle for the end of this race. Rosa almost there. Once again, traffic will come into play. At 949, Ferrari looking to get clear. Oh no, and Chikuba off the wall looking to get out of the way. It's one of those things we talked about pre-race, and we want to make sure we always have that conversation. IMSA blue flag rules are just like SRO. You are not required to clear a path. You should be respectful, especially with the speed differences in these classes, but you got to do so in a safe manner. Absolutely have to do so in a safe manner. Almost cause a bigger problem there by trying to get out of the way versus just holding your line, letting them make their move. Andre Rosa goes around the outside of the first corner, right through the S's. Is he going to hold on to it? Retro Coffin fighting back, but Rosa's got the inside line right there and takes off. Now Coffin's got a problem because now Fife wants to follow Rosa right on through. Just 30 seconds left in this race. We'll be on final laps. We didn't even notice the race lead had changed. We were watching this battle so hard, did not even notice the race lead has changed. Daniel Santos Carvalho taking up P1. Alphonse Quiros right there. Andre Rosa, after the incident, able to fight back to P4. Just a great run. Really became his recovery drive. The race is over. We'll be waiting for our leaders to cross the line. Right afterwards, we'll look to pull results, barring, preliminary results, barring any incidents and incident points. But another great day of racing here at Box3 Motorsports. So much fun to watch this multi-class stuff. Absolute blast. I think we should do more. Whether we talk about in iRacing doing, I don't know, some weird multi-class. I mean, we do. It doesn't have to be IMSA, right? There's other multi-class series we could certainly run. Not just that, but also we look at, say, in ACC running GT3, GT4 multi-class. I just think it adds such an element of fun when watching these races. That right there it is, the checkered flag. Daniel Santos Carvalho comes across the number 14 Cadillac in P1. Andre Rosa going to hold on to it. Looks like P4. Retro Coffin haven't dropped back now, but we do need to look because there's still only a 4/10 gap. Coffin able to open up over Fife a little bit. And again, I have no indicators of when the race is actually over, so we're just going to watch. But now, Fife has decided to close it up right here at the end. And Coffin, hold on. Fife up the inside. Coffin going way wide, going to hand that position to Brandon Pfeiffer. And Fife will cross the line ahead in P5 ahead of Retro Coffin just like that. Great battle there at the end of the race. Wow. Christopher Turner, let's get back to LMP2s. See if Chris Turner can hold on to P3 and a podium ahead of Jaden Ledbetter, Anthony Anderson, as these three tighten up. And Turner holds on to P3 and the podium. Ahead of Jaden Ledbetter, P4. Anthony Anderson, P5. Absolutely fantastic racing today. Great racing today here at Box3 Motorsports. Our drivers finish out for the day. Folks, this was a blast. What a battle. What a battle at the end. What a fight and what fun. This is what we're here for. An absolute blast. Just fantastic. Now, because we're doing screen capture, let's see if... And again, any results we discuss are going to be preliminary, right? 100% preliminary because, well, we know remaining time is minus 20. Wow, that's a lot of minutes. That's a lot of minutes. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and back out here. Yep, got to save that. We do need to save our replay. We will do that. And while we wait, we're going to see a few folks wanted to talk to us. Don't see them in a VC on the server. Go here. You know what? Let's bring this guy in. Let's bring this guy in. Often you around, sir? Muted, so I don't know if we're gonna get to talk to him.
On. I'm muted. Okay, there you go.
There you go. Hello, sir.
Hey.
Dude, that was crazy.
And I got that was a battle. I'm shaking. I just popped into 5 stream and it was crazy. The last 10 minutes of the race.
You guys were nuts for the last 10 minutes of that race. Absolute lunacy. I loved it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, he got me on the last corner. I was like, yeah, that was a great battle.
That was a great battle. I'm just trying to change something here real quick because I changed what I was doing. Just bringing up the results for folks real. So I wanted to take a look. So yeah, you were the only one around right now, so I wanted to grab you and get you in here real quick to talk about it. I don't know why I shrank that. I should leave that full size. Bring these results up. So really great finish, man. You had a great run today. You ended up in 6th, but you were still up like what, 4 spots on the day. So
yeah. I don't know if it was track temp or anything, but there was a pace difference today. I lost about 2 seconds a lap.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened between the start of the week and today, but either way, I'm happy with the I'm happy with the result. That last 10 minutes was worth that 2 seconds a lap. I mean,
that was a great battle, and you and I both know what kind of driver Fife is, right?
Oh yeah,
and no, he's good. And so it was one of those things of, okay, well, what are we? Yeah, who's faster? I don't know, and I was waiting to see it get proved out today, and it was just a fantastic battle between the two of you. Absolutely,
it was. I can't wait to watch it on playback.
Yep, it's going to be fun. Definitely watch it back. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm shaking from it.
I am
shaking from it,
yeah,
dude.
Mr. Brandon Pfeiffer in here with us now. We were just talking. I'm sure you were listening, Fife. I mean, it was just fantastic to watch the two of you fight that out at the end.
Yeah,
best battle.
Yeah, as soon as traffic came up, I was just like mashing the flasher. Like, we're coming through. We need now. Get out of the way.
Right.
I think I lost about 5 pounds in sweat.
Well, and then when it got really interesting to watch was you two have been battling it out for a couple laps, whatever it was, right? Like 5-6 laps. Then Andre Rosa, who got hung up with Phil Milwee from GTD class, suddenly, I mean, and look, Andre had pace the entire up until the incident. He had pace on everybody, just smoking. I mean, best lap time a 1:44.4.
Yep.
Ethan Hamlet had a 1:44, and Major Castleman. That was it. Everybody else is in the 1:45s, 1:46s.
You know what? I would say that temperatures definitely has something to do with it because those guys were running 1:42s earlier.
Okay.
So they are definitely quick. All of a sudden my crew chief said P4, and I'm like, wait, what? And then I see he's right behind me. I'm like, that's not gonna work out.
Yeah, he snuck up on me too. It was because we went through the hairpin, and there was the GTD car we passed, and then the crew chief was like, "Oh, the gap to the car behind is 0.5 seconds," and I thought he was talking about the GTD, and then I just see a yellow Cadillac in my mirror, and I was like, "When did this guy show up?"
Yeah, but when he caught up to you guys, it was crazy. Like, I'm like, he's had pace. At some point, he's got to make a move.
Yeah.
And Fife, Fife was still behind you at that point, Retro, and so he got Fife first, and then I saw you trying to keep him back between the two of you. Did you think Did you think you could hold him till the end of the race?
Personally, I tried. I gave it a solid. I think it was like turn 1, and then it took him like a whole lap to get around, and then he passed me into turn 1, and I was happy with that. I was like, those guys are insanely fast. I'm happy with putting 1 lap's worth of a fight.
Absolutely. No, that was fun to watch. And we're just taking a look at the results here real quick of the different classes before we shut down today. Just want to take a look and see, because it's very hard sitting on this end sometimes to be able to tell when the race is actually over. But Dylan Bittman taking the LMP2 class again. Lewis right up there in the front P2. Great run. And I want to go to GTD. Guillermo Costa Reyes wins out. Robert Lewis, Marcus Jutz. I don't know, man. A lot of Porsches on the podium again. Retro.
Yeah, I'm feeling left out of the party.
But you're not one of them. I'm just
rub it in, why don't you? You know what I don't see in there? I don't see no Audis in there either.
Well, that's not even an option. Like, well, I guess it is.
Exactly.
I guess GTD it is, because we had to make it that because they took away there's no Audi GTP car, so that doesn't even count, man.
There's not. No, it's
you can just like making stuff up now at this point.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you're gonna call me out on not being on the podium, and I'm just gonna call the audience for not being on track.
I am gonna call you out, but that's for my own personal amusement, nothing else. All right, I'm gonna kick you guys. Get out of here. I'm gonna talk to Chikuba and Lewis real quick before I close this down. So great racing, though, guys. Great battles. It was awesome.
Great time. Great time.
Talk to you guys on Tuesday for Recovery Drive.
Bye.
Yes, sir. Bye.
Let's bring in real quick Lewis Ricard. Lewis, how are you, sir?
Good.
Good race today? P2, right?
No, I'm not happy.
You're not happy?
I'm a bit frustrated with an aspect of the race, but
I see that in the chat. You're a little upset with the temperatures.
No, not just the temps, but the race start from Dylan Bittman was a bit iffy.
Okay. Was he trying to hold?
No, I believe per IMSA rulebook, you cannot achieve race pace until the green flag is waved, and he went at least 3 seconds before, and I'm very pissed off about that.
All right.
Or mileage.
Well, we will have to review that. There's no green flag. That's just something we'd have to review and see. And the thing is, in iRacing, I don't know how we control for that, because what I really wish is that each class had its own pace car, right? Then you solve that problem, at least partially, right? Pace car goes in, green flag goes, everybody go. But if each class had its own pace car, I think that would be the best thing. But unfortunately, it's not something we can build in. I would love to. I think it'd be fantastic. But I mean, overall, look, second place today, running 149s for your best lap. I mean, your average lap's 152. That's about right for the LMP2s, right? Race pace.
But these scorching temperatures, yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, but to be fair, it's like you said, it's midday in Florida. It's gonna be hot. It's only 32 on track. The track time was only 32. Not very hot.
At the start. At the end, it was 40.
Was it up to 40? I wasn't even paying attention.
It was up 40. My front right was literally on red on the steering wheel. It says attempts. It was red.
Gotcha. Well, good to talk to you, man. I'm hoping you're coming back for Long Beach, yes?
Of course.
All right, excellent. That's good.
Maybe I can win that one.
Maybe you can win that one. I know I'll be on track with you, so I'll make sure to stay out of your way. How's that sound? Given the tightness of
Yeah.
the track, the LMP2s and the GTPs are going to be pretty close time-wise, right? Is my understanding.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, so
only really the main straight where there's a big difference.
yeah,
The
so
LMPs are actually a little bit faster in the
Okay.
slow speed corners.
well, I will do my best to stay out of your way. How does that sound?
Yeah. Or give you the toe like you did in Daytona.
There you go. I'll try and do that too. Whatever I can do to help, man, because I know I'm not going to be in contention to win, so it doesn't make any sense for me to try. I'll help everybody else. All right, sir. Well, you have yourself a great weekend, and we will see you back for Long Beach on the 11th of November. Thanks so much.
Look forward to seeing you there.
All right, man. Take it easy. I'm going to now, guys, pull in real quick. And Mr. Dylan Bittman, how are you, sir?
I'm very good.
Excellent. We're talking to everybody today. Class winner for LMP2. So good. Congratulations today. Led out pretty well. How was the traffic? How was trying to get around? How was Sebring for traffic trying to get around the GTD cars?
I would say really, really good. Everyone was fair holding the line, so the faster class could find the way around the outside.
Okay. Good to hear.
So
No, that's good.
it's
I
very, very
see.
clean.
Yeah, that's good. And we did have one incident between a GTP and a GTD car that we caught on camera. But other than that, it was good to see, that for the most part, like Daytona, the race was, I thought, from our perspective, pretty clean. And that's always a
Yeah.
good thing. So now let me look at something real quick. Don't want to. You won. You were first at the Daytona race as well.
Yeah.
2 wins on the season so far. We'll do the points up this week, but it looks to me as though you're going to kind of run away with the season a little bit if this is anything to judge. What track are you not looking forward to, though, coming up in the rest of the season? Where do you think you might struggle?
I would say the next race because I need to buy the track. I
Okay.
don't even own it.
Okay.
I don't know. Do we race in Miami?
Yes, Miami is replacing Lime Rock. Since Lime Rock's so small. So
Maybe I drove like 5 laps on that circuit.
okay. All right.
Don't even know why I have it in my inventory.
Well, you better get ready for Long Beach, though. Very tight. And talking to Lewis there, the LMP2s and the GTPs are going to run very close times together, so we're going to see a lot of traffic, I think, at Long Beach coming up for the next race. So we'll see how you perform there. But as of now, 2 wins under your belt. Again, provisional today because we have to do incidents. But so far, looks like 2 wins under your belt, and I think you're having a great season so far.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with my pace and with my setups.
Awesome.
I really put some work in the setup for today because Sebring is so tricky to find the little gap you have to be in the LMP2 because you need to be very close to the ground because of the downforce, but you also need to be a bit higher up because you need to attack some curbs really hard. So you need to find that little gap, and this is very, very tricky.
Okay. Yeah, no, I listened to a lot of the guys talk this week about how difficult Sebring can be. It's bumpy, and finding your spots can be a little bit difficult, right? So, but
yeah,
made it through.
The setup the suspension is the most difficult in the LMP2.
Gotcha.
The ride height is you maybe need half an hour, but for the suspension and the bumpers, you need maybe a whole week to get it 100%.
Wow. Okay. Well, it looks like you tuned her just right today, so you're all set, man. We can't wait to see you back out there for Long Beach here in a couple weeks on November 11th. So until then, get that grabbed up and get some practice in. It's definitely a tight track.
Yeah, I start tomorrow with making some setup because in the next 2 weeks I have really hard work because it's coming Christmas.
Yeah.
So
getting ready.
it's a bit harsh, I would say.
Gotcha. Well, again, good luck to you, sir. Great racing today. Thank you so much. And you have yourself a great weekend, okay?
Thank you, you too.
One more person we're going to talk to today, Miss Chikuba. How are you, Diesel? Welcome in and welcome to the stream. How are you doing today?
Hi, I am honestly, I was really anxious and I was anxious for the right reasons.
Now, I don't. You said you were nervous, right? You just said now you were anxious, and I know talking to you earlier this week, you said you were racing, but you were nervous about it and everything. I mean, once you were out on track, what was the, I don't know, what was the most nerve-wracking part for you out when during the race itself?
Mostly handling traffic because I used to have a very strong hatred for multi-class because I got treated really horribly by GTP. So it's like whenever I see one in my rearview mirror, it's just like, oh god, I'm gonna get punted again. But everybody was pretty good with traffic today, except for lap 16. That was definitely the lap of the race.
Okay.
I had just come out the pits like 2 laps later. The person that was in P8 was right behind me, and we started battling. And then 2 GTPs that were also battling tried to overtake us.
Yep.
And I was the only one that survived that. Everybody else died. I was kind of just like, yeah. I was like, did I do that? And I watched the replay. I did not do that. I was actually I was actually the only one that survived. So
Excellent.
that's not exactly how I wanted to gain a position, but 1 position gain is better than coming in last, so I'll take it.
True. Very true. Yeah. Listen, I didn't want to gain a position at Daytona because the other guy ended up quitting, but I did. I'll take it. You're right. I'm just slow, so it doesn't matter. Now, do you plan on participating in the rest of the season?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Excellent.
I don't know if I'm gonna be a contender per se, because like Sebring is one of my fastest tracks, and I was barely able to keep up. But at least I was consistent, other than lap 16 almost dying, and then like I think the third to last lap, I saw GTPs coming. I broke a little early, and my car decided to turn into a Beyblade, and we hit the wall. But we finished.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was fingers crossed because it almost turned into something worse. But you were able to keep it out of the way and hold the brakes and keep everybody safe as they came around. So awesome. Well, again, I'm not going to have you on to talk to you after the race without again telling you, first of all, thank you. Second of all, to anyone watching and listening, if you need a livery for iRacing, this is who you go to right here. Diesel. Just hit
Thank you.
At Diesel. Listen, I can do it right now. I can literally hit no, right there. Or at Chikuba on the Discord. Get your livery on, because mine's fantastic. I've seen some of the other ones you've done. I think was it Alex or something. No, maybe it wasn't Alex. I forget who was telling me. He's like, if I showed all mine, it would look like a novel. Like I would take up over this channel for years.
Oh yeah, that was Alex. He was actually my first customer.
Oh, awesome. Very good. I know he loves you too. Can't speak highly enough, but thank you so much, Chief, for being here. I want to thank you again. Great race today, and can't wait to see you. I will be on track with you at Long Beach, so it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Thank you.
And I promise I will try not to scare you in my big, scary GTP Cadillac as I come around. Trust me, I'm not scary. I'm slow. So you may beat me. It's entirely possible in someplace like that. But have yourself a great weekend. Thank you so much. And again, great race today. And we'll see you in a couple weeks at Long Beach.
Yeah, thank you.
Talk soon. And that's it, folks. We are out for today. That is the end of our Sebring stream. Remember, all the results you see in front of are provisional. Incidents need to be reported on the Discord using the bot. Please do so. And we can't wait to see you again. Phil Mill will be back here in just a couple weeks to take us to Long Beach, California for round 3 of season 1 of IMSA Racing here at Box3 Motorsports. My name is Adam Thursby. You all have yourselves a great weekend. Thank you to all the drivers today. Thank you to everyone who helps put this together. And we will be back right here on Twitch for Long Beach when it comes. So again, everybody, have yourself a great weekend, and thank you so much. Talk to you later.